Absolutely. Absolutely. Because who the hell else gonna drag Karen's drunk ass?
Let's talk about it.
I swear I'm about to can't deal with this though. I'm halfway at the but it's street summer. I swear I'm about to can't deal with this though. I'm halfway at the but it's street summer.
I want people to have fun. Let's kick back. Let's get into a little tea. Let's not get too crazy, but let's enjoy the sip.
This is for you if you feel like your life is off and you don't know why. Not in a dramatic, oh, everything is falling apart way, but in that quiet, nagging way where you wake up and you like, yo, what the fuck is this? You're doing shit, you're trying, you're moving, but nothing is really landing. Nothing is clicking the way that it should. And you keep trying to gaslight yourself like, oh, maybe I'm overthinking or maybe I need to be more patient. No, cut the bullshit. You know something ain't right. What this actually is misalignment. See, you outgrown a version of your life, but you're still sitting in it like it still fits, and it doesn't. You're trying to force old environments, old habits, old people, old dynamics to work for the version of you that's trying to level the fuck up. And that shit is clashing. That's why everything feels stagnant, uncomfortable, weird. Not because nothing is happening, but because something needs to change and you keep dragging your feet on it. Now, let's be real, right? You already know what the fuck it is. You know what does not excite you anymore, and you know what feels forced. You know what you've been tolerating that you should not be tolerating, but instead of making a move, you keep sitting in it like a little bitch, right? You overthinking it, trying to make it make sense, and that's what's keeping your ass stuck because you're in between two versions of yourself, the one that is expired already and the next version of you that requires you to move different, but you keep hesitating, and that hesitation is what's going to get you fucked up because that's why shit is not moving. That's why the fuck shit ain't working, okay? Your life is trying to expand, but you're still moving like your old self, still choosing what's comfortable, still entertaining what you've already fucking outgrown, still making decisions based on familiarity instead of alignment, and then you confused when nothing is clicking. You can't keep doing the same shit and expect your life to feel different. Something has to be released, okay? Something has to be chosen differently, point blank and period, bitch, okay? Now, this is where the fuck I come in, because this isn't something that you just fix by sitting around thinking about it all day. No, clearly that shit ain't been working, okay? Now, in a reading with me, we're going to break down exactly what the fuck is out of alignment in your life, what you need to let go of, what direction you actually need to be moving in, and how to get you back in the flow so shit can start working smoothly again. This is clarity. This is direction. This is getting you out of that stuck-ass energy that you've been in, okay? So let me ask you, how long are you going to sit in this shit, right? How long are you going to keep waking up feeling like something's off, but you not really doing shit about it? At some point, you're going to have to decide, are you going to stay stuck and confused, or are you actually going to get clarity and move your life forward? If you're ready to stop playing around and playing with your life and actually get aligned, book an alignment reading, okay? Book with me on thealignmedsouls.com, because the shit that you've been doing, clearly, bitch, that shit ain't working. Baby, what is going on? It is Scott Santana, and baby, we are back for another press and mess because there's a lot of mess going on in the press, okay? Listen, y'all know that Atlanta just started up their new season about a week ago. Okay, we on what, episode 2? And so, you know, Potomac, okay, the housewives of Potomac, chicken scratch bingo, you know, they done started back up. Last season, it gave everything. Okay, y'all said the show couldn't go on without Cameron, and it did. Okay? But then Cameron brought her drunk ass back from jail. They decided to bring her drunk ass to the reunion, where she still looked like she was still drunk. Okay, and so everybody just automatically knew, okay, she must be coming back for season 11, right? But I was one of the people that felt like, okay, after a stellar ass season 10, let's just keep this same cast, right? Like, if you're going to add Karen, okay, do that, but like, let's keep the exact same cast, including Monique. Well, child, thank God I don't work for Bravo, because I guess nobody was paying attention to what I had to say, because there is a lot of cast changes that ended up happening. Okay, some people was fired. Well, a lot of people was fired, and we also got some new additions that's questionable. And we're going to have to get into it. But the main part is Robin is back. Okay. So the Robins, listen, I know Queens of Bravo was turning up this weekend. Okay. We're going to get into it after y'all hoes go ahead and like the video. Cause I'ma tease you and freak you just like that. Only thing hard is you now, but you like that. Defense is down, it don't make sense to play back. Cause you are fighting your back, but you like that. Time. Okay, so before we go ahead and get into the newbies, okay, child. Um, let's go ahead and get into the cast changes, baby. The cast changes, okay? Now, it said Bravo announces the Real Housewives of Potomac season 11 returning cast. Karen gets her flute back, and Robin Dixon returns as a friend of. Okay, filming is in full bloom. Presenting the ladies for Real Housewives of Potomac: Karen, Giselle, Ashley, Wendy, Stacy, Tia, and Robin as a friend of. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't. I mean, I don't watch the other shows. I don't watch the other franchises. I'm one of them black people where it's just like all I watch is the black shows. Okay. And then I do watch Salt Lake City. I do watch Salt Lake City. I'll never forget, I tell this story from time to time. I'll never forget that the season 1, when Salt Lake City was premiering, it was during COVID. And, I was someplace where I had no business being. And I ran into Jen Shaw because she was also at some place that she had no business being. But we was both there on this rooftop. Okay. Again, surrounded by people that we had no business being around. But we was both there on this rooftop drinking our eyes out, baby. Okay. We was getting drunk down boots. Okay. She came over. She was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We look like we could be sisters. Oh my God." And then she ended up calling her mother. And had me on the phone with her mother, talking to her mother, talking about, "Oh my God, you gotta invite her to Thanksgiving. You gotta invite her to Thanksgiving dinner. Oh my God, I found my long-lost sister." I was like, "Girl, chill." She was like, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do I look familiar?" I was like, "You kind of do." But like at the same time, like I wasn't really like checking for Salt Lake City like that. And like I said, it hadn't dropped yet, but I know I had saw the trailer and I was like, she do look kind of familiar. But I couldn't place her until she said it, and then she actually pulled out her phone and showed me the trailer, and then asked my damn thoughts. And I was like, "Yeah, girl, I'm gonna watch." Chat never did. Okay, until the latest season or whatever. But shout out to that Jen. Shout out to Jen. She was fun when I met her. I can't speak for all the little criminal activity I can't speak for all of that. But that night when I met her, she was fun. Okay, like very down to earth. Okay, immediately was getting me and my friend drunk as fuck. Okay, like I said, FaceTime her mother, and then even exchanged numbers with me, and we were supposed to meet up afterwards, but I was too drunk, and I just ended up going home, child. But shout out to that Salt Lake City. Love the new season. Can't wait for the new one to come out. Now, as far as Atlanta and Potomac, I've seen Potomac do it before, but I've never seen like Atlanta or like I've never seen Bravo like actually announce the housewives. Like we usually are in confusion until I don't know. Maybe it's me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Child. But either way, this time around they said, "Okay, no, we letting y'all motherfuckers know." And I guess that they probably did that because Karen, okay, with her drunk ass, and then Wendy with her Nigerian scamming ass. It's like because we got 2 felons on the cast, 2 ex-cons, 2 jailbirds on the cast, everybody probably wondering, are they coming back? Is Wendy gonna be, is she gonna be going to jail while filming? Is Karen still gonna be drinking while filming? Like, I guess maybe that's why they saying it, but I expected everybody to be back. I keep telling y'all all the time, because y'all already don't like light-skinned people, on top of all of Giselle and Robin and Ashley's antics, y'all keep trying to get them off the show. They are not leaving the show. They are necessary for the show. They are the show. And I wish people would get out of their trauma and get away from that. They are necessary for the show. Giselle does what she does. Ashley does what she does. Like, they are necessary to the DNA of the show. Karen can come and go, right? But even with her absence last year, you still kind of felt like she wasn't there, but she could come and go. But Giselle and Ashley are necessary because they are so woven deeply into the DNA of the show, and literally how Potomac has survived this long. You can hate or love them, but honestly and truly, your hate watch and your hate tweets for them is what has carried these seasons. So I automatically expected for them to come back. The only person that was questionable was maybe Wendy, but then at the same time, I'm like, if Wendy is narcissistic enough to scam and then still come on TV and then wear the designer clothes that she paid for with the money that she used from scamming, oh, she's most definitely going to be narcissistic enough to still come on the next season, still wearing those same designer clothes and whatnot, and still acting like Shane do not a goddamn thing and lying her ass off. Like, of course, she's a fucking narcissist, a fucking narcissist scam artist. Okay. Now, as far as Tia ain't do shit last season. She ain't give shit, and the fact that she back, I'm confused. I'm confused. Like when I said bring the whole cast back, I meant bring the whole cast back, right? Like, and Tia would have been brought back by default, but she literally gave nothing. Literally gave nothing. And I feel like if they was gonna bring anybody back from last season, it most definitely should have been Angel. Hell, I know a lot of people started getting annoyed with Klarna. I wasn't. Okay. I'm usually on the right side of history and motherfuckers ain't. And so I be trying to put people on the game and they don't want to listen until it's too late. So I always tell people, listen to me the first time, because when Kiana first came on and she was fighting Sesame Street, I said then that she was doing team too much. But because, again, so many people don't like Ashley and so many people didn't like Sesame Street, everybody was team Kiana. But I'm like, how are you getting involved in somebody else's shit? And then you decided to put your hands on them and then turned around and played the victim. And that's why Bravo even brought Kiana back, because they felt like, okay, well, you know, we don't want to have to deal with a lawsuit. So rather than you try to sue us and, you know, we have this lawsuit on our hands, we're just going to give you a sympathy peach. That's the only reason why she was casted. Only reason why she was upgraded. Okay. Now, as far as Angel was a Debbie Downer, but Angel has said plenty of times she was oblivious to what was really going on the show and how the show works. So she was very green to the situation. So after she sat back and watched the season back, then she started developing a mouth. So I was so interested in seeing how she was going to move this next season once she came back and saw how all the girls was talking about her and treating her. Like I really did feel like second season Angel, we would have got that bitch. Okay, we would have got like that bitch from CAU, Yvonne Clark. You understand what I'm saying? Like she would have came back wild and bold. And what I don't like about Housewives now is that everybody feels like, oh, one season after that, if you're not good, then you're supposed to be done. No, absolutely not. I say it all the time. A lot of these people were not likable their first seasons. Wendy wasn't likable her first season. Portia wasn't likable her first season, right? Because remember, Wendy was Dr. Wendy, 4 degrees Wendy, pompous ass, bigoted ass Wendy, right? Okay. Even Karen was like, oh, she didn't fit the look of the show. A whole other conversation for a whole other day if y'all want to bring up colorism, right? Now, when it comes to Portia did absolutely too much, but not enough on her first season. She was a thought, well, not a thought, but she was a pick-me, and she didn't become Princess of Thoughtlandia until her next season. But her first season, she was such a pick-me and up Cordell's ass. And nobody on cast liked her, and the fans didn't really like her. And it wasn't until Wendy sat on her show and basically convinced Andy and Bravo to bring her back because now she was single, her divorce is what saved her. So it's like you have to give people the chance to grow. And I feel like with time, Angel could have did that. Like her first season sucked, but she could have came back her second season and like really shine. But she wasn't given a chance. She wasn't. So there's that. And honestly, Jassy, when it comes to her, that bitch was just thirsty as fuck. So I didn't care. She was just thirsty. Okay. And when it came to who else? Monique? Because Monique is another one. Like the Moniques of the world, the Phaedras of the world, you know, the people that y'all try to hype up because y'all like them and then you think everybody else supposed to like them. And in reality, they literally give nothing, but you know that they are good for one or two things. Like everybody hypes Phaedra up because of the pizza joke that was rehearsed. And everybody hypes Monique up because of the binder and her fighting Candace. And I was one of the people who did not want to see Gooning back on the show. I felt like she brought nothing to the show. Honestly and truly, I get that people hate the Green Eye Bandits, but like Monique literally brought nothing other than 2 houses and complaining about Chris. And then the second that she came back, what did she do? She complained about moving or no, staying in the same house and having a remodel or some shit like that. And then, you know, also getting rid of Chris' big ass. Oh, I shed like 290 pounds. Okay, girl. She literally brought nothing to the show. And even though I found her to be refreshing last season. So that was that. Now, as far as Robin coming back, I'm excited. And what I don't want to do is hear a bunch of Robin backlash all season. I like let's let it go. When it comes to Robin and let's let it go. The jokes are no longer funny. The jokes no longer hit. Y'all been saying the same shit for the last 11 years. Let's let it go. Let's let it go. If Robin is fine and comfortable with Juan, let's let that be that. Okay, because we could talk about y'all relationships and all the ancient niggas that you probably fucked with. Right? She over there happy. Let her be happy. Now, Kiana was offered a friend role for season 11, but she ended up turning it down. Okay, she ended up turning it down. And like I said, these are the girls that's not returning: Kiana, Angel, Monique, and Jessie. So we ended up seeing them out filming soon as the news dropped. It's almost like they knew that the news was about to come out.
Real Housewives of Potomac spotted at Wizards vs Heat game.
Go outside for me. Just do you need me to walk behind you? You sure? You can definitely walk behind me.
Right, I had to turn that music off, and that's Robin right there in the stripes. So you can see Robin in the stripes, and then in the fur, that is one of the newbies who we're gonna get to in a second, because apparently she's a black MAGA. And of course, Stacey would wear that to a basketball game. Of course. And of course, the black MAGA is Stacey's friend. Right. Because see, even though I didn't review last season, I do have some thoughts when it comes to Stacey. I love Stacey her first season, but last season she absolutely got on my nerves. Because the problem with Stacey is that because so many people don't like the cast, and y'all don't like the rest of these girls, y'all just excuse anything that Stacey does. And the reason why the cast does not like Stacey is because Stacey is a professional gaslighter. Professional gaslighter. Like, she will literally piss in your face and tell you that it's raining and then laugh the entire time and act unbothered, which is cool. But then it's like, okay, we only doing that but for so long. Right? Like, if every time I come to you, you want to play and intentionally act dense and dumb and aloof, that is going to get on my motherfucking nerves. And so I understand why they don't like her like that, right? Because she intentionally is constantly aloof. She plays dumb a lot. And then aside from that, I'm not mad at Tia, because a lot of people last season was mad that Tia and Stacey had got into it. Well, more so Tia had, quote unquote, came for Stacey, but she didn't. At the end of the day, Stacey lied. She lied about where her husband was going to be, right? And she had whatever the situation was, where she invited Tia and then apologized to Wendy for not inviting her first because she closer to her. No. At the end of the day, Stacey don't fuck with these girls like that. And she felt like, if I'm going to introduce my white husband to any of y'all black motherfuckers, it's going to be the most palatable black. So I'm going to go to the princess of the group. You know, the girl that's considered royalty in her country. Yeah, that's more palatable for my white husband, before I bring him around the rest of y'all that's a little bit more urban. That's a little bit more, you know, like kinfolk. Yeah. So the fact that she's bringing around somebody who is allegedly MAGA, I'm not surprised. But we'll get to that in a second. There's also another newbie. Oh, shout out to that boy. He is so cute. There's another newbie right there with the blonde. And shout out to that producer, because I think that's the same producer that was looking at K. Michelle like shit. Like, bitch, where are you going? When she got up from the first scene in the first episode. Well, not the first scene, but the scene in the episode at the dinner hall.
They shouldn't have been here if niggas ain't want to do the
Right. You went up there. Bitch, that's what on TikTok too.
Right. So that was that. So in terms of the newbies, here's one of the newbies right here. Well, no. We'll start with Brittany. So Brittany is the blonde that we saw, right, in the background. And apparently, I think, I think she might be Stacy's friend. And she already got the shit in her bio. Like, she already got the shit in her bio. Okay, let's see what the people saying about her. I know people are like, oh, she's white. Why are they adding a white girl? Listen, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. For me, it's not the same. Like, I get more upset when I see a black girl added to a white cast than I do a white girl added to a black cast, because it's two different things, right? A white girl that's added is just literally just friends. When a black girl is added, it doesn't feel right. It depends. It depends. But it ends up becoming, I'll just say, it's very Garcelle, very Boz, very whoever is the girl that ruined Roni. Don't do the token thing. Let it be organic. Now, if it's an organic friendship, then okay, cool. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I want race and politics and all of that to stay out of these shows. I do. Okay. And apparently, like I said, it's Courtney and okay, so Courtney, I don't think I don't know if Courtney is Stacey's friend. Brittany is Stacey's friend, but I don't know if Courtney is also her friend. I don't know. I mean, her hair is fire. Her hair is fire right there. But she did also post something.
Hey guys, this is
and a lot of people was coming for her.
This is the prophetic warning. God gave me this vision a couple weeks ago on the first day of my fast, and he's just now released me to release the word to you today. I want you to take it very seriously. I am a seer. I operate in the spiritual realm, and God gives me visions of things past, present, and future. So God has showed me that we are about to experience nationwide power outages within this country. Machines will not work. Your cars will not work. You will not be able to access your money. You will not be able to get food. So you need to begin stockpiling your food. You need to begin preserving your fruits and your vegetables. Stock up on batteries. Stock up on necessary items. Stock up on your toiletries. Anything that you need to live and survive for up to 3 months, begin stocking up on it now. This is not in correlation to the eclipse. I don't know when this is going to happen, but God has just now released me today. So I'm being obedient to him by doing so. Begin stocking up on the items that you need. God began showing me this vision in 2020, but it did not come to pass yet. But he has told me that now I have gotten confirmation that this is coming to pass. I do not know when, but begin stocking up now. This is not to scare you. This is so that you will be prepared.
Okay, and it ends right there. So she's not wrong. She's not wrong. People have asked me why I stopped doing the purple cheetah videos, and it's because I have to figure out, like, it's one thing if we doing like a baddies video or something like that, and then I'm predicting shit on baddies, or like, if I'm just casually saying like predictions or something as we doing videos, right? Like thousands, tens of thousands of my predictions have come true. Like, down to like Diddy and his arrest date, down to shit going on with Jay-Z, down to fucking World War III, down to Biden stepping down and Kamala stepping up and Trump. Like, it's so much that I've said that has come to pass. But as far as why I stopped doing specifically dedicated videos like that stop doing specifically videos dedicated to stuff like this, why I've stopped doing that is because it's such a nuanced, complicated style, and it's not something that everybody would understand, right? Because if you're even listening to predictions and stuff like that, you need to understand the way that timelines and energy works, and how, time is really an illusion. And so, how we process time in 3D isn't necessarily the same as 5D and the spiritual world. Like, it's just, it's so complicated. It's such a complicated concept, right? Because we can feel a sense of urgency, like something is about to happen today, right? And then that may not happen for another 2 years, another 2 months, right? And so it can get complicated. It can get complicated, especially when, like I said, if you're not really familiar with that type of content, or you're not really enmeshed into
you know, the spiritual background or spiritual, you know, content world or whatever. You're really just honestly looking to listen to predictions to figure out what's right. And like you're just really just listening just so you can say I told you so, or see I knew you was wrong. So I don't know. I don't know. That's not necessarily my bag. So that's why I stopped doing stuff like that, because it's just complicated, right? But she's not wrong with what she's saying, because I felt it, I've said it, thousands of other people have said it, and what she's saying isn't anything groundbreaking. I mean, if you just pay attention to what's been going on, like literally, like just paying attention to what's been going on, all signs and all roads lead and point to that. What I don't want to see, though, is her come onto the show and try to open up that side of her to this demographic. No. Because it's going to be very similar to what I'm saying. It's like everybody can't be exposed to everything. And it doesn't work for, like, all audiences aren't meant to digest the same content, because it's not going to be palatable for everybody. And especially when it comes to Bravo, every single time that they try to do spiritual talk, it always become woo woo or crazy, or you're a psychopath, or you're into demonic shit, or voodoo is evil. Like it becomes a mockery. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Not when it comes to her. Okay. I don't want this to become a thing on the show. I don't want her on the show talking about any of that. And it's not that you need to hide that part. Like she needs to hide that part of herself. It's just that's not the platform. And that's essentially basically what I'm saying. Like this I can still show my gifts just in a different way without doing dedicated videos talking about stuff like what she's talking about. It's just okay. So that was the first thing that I saw of her, right? And then afterwards I ended up seeing something else where, you know, it was some facts listed about her, and basically it said, okay, Courtney is religious. She visited the White House last year. She was on VH1's My Celebrity Dream Wedding, and she appeared on Atlanta Housewives and Married to Mess, and her husband is 7 too. Now I don't know who the fuck this is in this filter. I don't know who the fuck this is in this filter, but I'm gonna need for Ashley and Giselle and Wendy, the same way that Angel was getting dragged last season. I'm gonna need them to drag Miss Courtney. I'm gonna need them to drag her, because who the fuck is this? Who is this? I'm gonna need them to drag her for this. Let's run back the whole catfish rumors and catfish alligator. Let's run it back, because who the fuck is this? Who was this? Now her husband being tall as hell, I could already see they about to be like, oh, Angel husband was good looking. Now her husband good looking. Okay, cool. But the fact that she was at the White House and y'all already know who was, you know, president in the last year, that's going to be a topic of conversation. I'm going to need it not to be. I'm going to need it not to be. Y'all motherfuckers are annoying enough as it is on TV, on social media, okay, on TikTok, in these comments. I don't want Housewives of Potomac to become political. That shit is not entertaining. Okay. I don't want to hear them argue over who she voted for and who she aligned with. I don't want to have them conversations. I have favorite creators on this app where I watch their videos faithfully. But I promise you, I will too. Like, let me tell you, I love me some Funky Dineva. But I already know for a fact that anytime his videos come on, I'm skipping the first 30 minutes, because I don't give a damn about a political or a corner. You're not about to rile up my energy. Okay? Skip right on past that shit, right? I don't want to have to do that when it comes to Potomac. I don't want to have to do that when it comes to her scenes. And not even just do that when it comes to the show. I don't even want to hear the conversation from the public, from the fans, from the review. Like, that's just not the energy I want. So I don't know what. Actually, I do know what Bravo was thinking. I was about to say, I don't know what Bravo was thinking about casting her, but I feel like they casted somebody to where the heat could be taken off of Stacey and maybe thrown onto her. Like maybe they throwing Stacey a bone as the fan favorite or something. I don't know. Or maybe they trying to, I don't know. Because I also feel like bringing it back to Robin ass was brought back specifically so she could go at Karen, which I'm here for. I'm absolutely here for Robin digging in Karen's ass. I absolutely am here for it. Okay, because look, this is what Robin had to say when it came to Karen.
From over the years, I saw the same person, you know, from years prior, the same person that I've known from over the years. That was the same person who did that interview.
What do you mean by that?
A lot of the same like deflection.
Oh, okay.
Not, I feel like there was some accountability, but not in like a, what I wanted to really see from her was like a sincere apology or a sincere acknowledgement of drunk driving is never okay.
Yeah.
I apologize to all of the, you know, all the victims and victims' families of drunk drivers. Like, this is a really serious matter. Like, I really wanted to see her attack that topic.
Yeah.
And just kind of like say like, what I did is never acceptable, blah, 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 blah. And what I felt like I saw was like a lot of blame shifting and a lot of deflection. And then a lot of trying to like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like she almost didn't want to embrace the alcoholism part and was putting it more on like the prescription drugs. And I felt like that in a way was kind of trying to blame whomever prescribed her these drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But in not in her defense, but we knew Karen drank. We drank with Karen. Right. But I that was the first time I had heard anything about pills or any type of anything adding to drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was bullshit. Because it was absolute bullshit. Wasn't no damn pills. And at the end of the day, listen, okay, and this is where the astrology comes into it. All of this shit with Karen happened around an eclipse. And if you know, you know, but during eclipses, that's when major pivotal like moments in your life that change the trajectory of your life, but more so specifically for the next 2 years happens. So, you know, she got into this accident around eclipse time. I believe it was like what, April 2024 when it happened. Okay. Which was during like an eclipse time. And so Karen is a drunk. Karen is a drunk. It is what it is. Do I feel like Karen is an alcoholic? No. But do I feel like does she have a drinking problem? Yes. And the problem that I have with society is that people think, oh, because you have a drinking problem, it means that you need to stop drinking completely. No. Sometimes it just means you need to learn how to handle your liquor. And that when I look at Karen, I don't see an alcoholic, like somebody that's struggling with alcohol. No, what I see is somebody who doesn't know how to handle their liquor. They drink, but they don't know their limit. Now in 2026, it's like, oh, if you drink, you're an alcoholic. No, not necessarily. Like whatever happened to that? It like there really are people who can drink, but it's like they just don't know their limit. And so Karen is somebody who needs to learn her limit. And sometimes she drinks past her limit because of her trauma. But does that mean she's an alcoholic? No. I feel like she could stop drinking if she wanted to, but she may not want to stop because it's just like, bitch, life be hard. Like I need me a drink. A lot of us are like that. And I've had a lot of friends who didn't know their limit. Like I've been drinking child since I was like 12. Right. So now even when I go out, I don't drink at the bar. Like if anything, I'll get one drink at the bar, but that's once I'm already somewhere. But I always I've literally consistently like at least for 15 years now have been measuring my liquor. I get a water bottle. Well, technically I get a liter bottle, a liter of alcohol. Then I get a water bottle and I know my limit down. My limit is about 24 to 26 ounces of liquor. That's a water bottle and a half. You get a 16-ounce bottle, fill that shit up. Okay. I pour it into a cup. It goes into the cup about 2 or 3 times. Okay. Once I finish with that 16 ounces, it gets me tipsy. And then soon as I done with that, I take the liquor, I pour it into the 16-ounce water bottle, I fill that up halfway, and that's the rest of my liquor. I drink that, I'm good. Anything over, blacking out. It'd be too much, right? And for me, I'm not even an aggressive type of drunk. I get drunk and I fall asleep. But I've had to learn my limit, right? Karen needs to learn her limit. But nonetheless, the way that she showed up to BravoCon, got a standing fucking ovation, the way that Bravo welcomed her back with open arms, decided to fly to Potomac, give her the whole entire finale, sit-down interview, then invited the bitch back to the reunion as though she was a part of this season. Like, girl, bah, absolutely not. That's why the fuck they brought Robin back, so Robin could drag that ass next season. Because, see, Giselle is on this little redemption arc, right? Where she want to show the fans, because she's tired of getting dragged, she want to show the fans, I could be cool with Wendy, I could be cool with Karen. And then at the same time, honestly and truly, Robin and Karen have both said that they go back and forth because that's what the fans want to see. I'm not the fan that want to see that. It was tiring years ago. And after like the first 2 seasons, it was stale, right? So the fact that, okay, Giselle has been known to be Karen's ally, especially while she went to jail, because she was keeping Karen's name alive on the show. It's like, okay, well, I can't be the one to go after her. So Robin, you do it. And that's why Robin's brought back. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it. Because Karen, if you think you're about to come back and escape accountability, absolutely not. And then also when it comes to Wendy, Giselle can't be the one to do it. I hope Robin gets into that ass too. They both need to be in the hot seat this entire season. We're not just gonna fall back and resort to, okay, let's just pick on Stacey because she's easy, or let's just pick on a new girl because she quote unquote MAGA. No. This needs to be the season where Karen and Wendy are in the hot seat. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck that Karen showed up to the reunion or did that little sit down interview. No, that wasn't good enough. We dragging that bitch all season long. Because remember, she didn't even show up to the season 9 reunion. So, we got some lashings to do. So, child, y'all let me know what y'all thought about all of that down in the comment box below. Are you excited? Well, y'all, I already know I'm a standing alone. I already know ain't nobody else gonna be excited for Robin, but I'm excited. Okay. Patreon.com/ScottSantana, baby. That's where we watch all of our favorite shows, including Housewives, Potomac, and Atlanta together. And thealanisouls.com, where you could go book you a personal reading. I'll see you in the next one.
Now, this is for the people who feel like they need to move, right? Like, you keep thinking about leaving your city, going somewhere bigger, switching coasts, starting over. And it's not just some, oh, I want to move for the vibe type shit. Like, oh, everybody flocking to ATL, everybody going to Houston. Nah, it ain't that type of shit, right? We talking about that feeling that just keeps coming back. And you're trying to figure out, is it just social media? Is it something deeper? You know, or if something that you knows you're not exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm gonna keep it real, it's most definitely something deeper, because where you live is not neutral. That shit affects your energy, your opportunities, your mental state, everything. And most people don't even know that astrocartography exists, which is literally your birth chart mapped across the world, showing where certain energies get activated in your life. And this is not just theory. This shit plays out in real life. Look at Azalea Banks. New York sits between her Mars and Saturn lines, which is straight pressure, conflict, restriction. And you can see it. Constant tension, always in some type of shit, life feeling heavier than it needs to be. That's environment. Let's take a look at Kim Kardashian. Paris sits her Uranus line with Mars and Pluto nearby, which is sudden chaos, danger, intense situations. Remember when she got robbed at gunpoint in Paris? Exactly. But LA, that's near her Jupiter line, which is expansion, fame, wealth, literally all the reasons why she got popular off of her sex tape. That's where her empire blew the fuck up. Same person, completely different outcomes based on her location. And then you got Ellen DeGeneres. Her Venus line runs through the exact same area where her wife is from. Venus is love, relationships, connections. I promise you, that ain't random either. So when I say some of y'all are in the wrong place, I literally mean that shit. You're trying to build a life in a location that's draining you, blocking you, or keeping you stuck in cycles that don't even belong to you. Or you're about to make a move based on aesthetics, what looks good, what feels trendy, instead of what's actually aligned for you in your life. And then you're gonna wonder why shit ain't working the way you expected. Now, this is where the fuck I come in. This is why people book me, because this is not something that you guess. In an astrocartography reading with me, I'm mapping out your chart across the world and showing you exactly where your best locations are for money, love, career, stability, overall life improvement, and where you need to stay the hell away from, right? I'm going to tell you why you feel the way that you do, where you are, what energy is being activated, and where you need to go if you actually want your life to shift. Because some of y'all don't need to work harder. You just need to be in the right place. And I'm going to say that one more time for the Rosa Parks in the back. Some of y'all don't need to work harder. You just need to live in the right place, okay? New York City might be the greatest place on earth for one person, but for you, it might be hell on earth. Location matters. So if you've been feeling that pull to move or relocate or just start over, and you want to make sure you're not about to fuck your life up trying to chase a vibe or what's trendy on social media, please book an astrocartography relocational reading with me on thealigningsouls.com, because where you live is not random, and getting that shit right can change everything.
Keep watching my social media, changing my Wikipedia. This trending to the top and tedious. I will start